don't have access to your normal healthy foods doesn't mean that you can't still be healthy. So what we're talking about today is technically old news in a literal sense. This comes all the way back from 2010 and is something that most people who are familiar with the greater lore of tracking macros are aware of. And that's what Dr. Mark Haub, H-A-U-B, out of Kansas State University did when he ran a little experiment on himself. He went for 10 weeks, so just a little bit over 2 months, where he was taking in around 1,800 calories a day. He was measuring all the food that he was eating, but there was a catch. And so before I get to the catch, what I want to tell you is the results. After 10 weeks, he lost about 27 pounds, going from 201 down to 174. His BMI dropped by several points. His body fat percentage went down. And when you look at his health markers, they also significantly improved. His bad cholesterol, or LDL, went down by 20%, and his good cholesterol, or HDL, went up by 20%. And also his triglyceride count went down by about 39%. So these are some pretty significant changes in his health. Now here's the catch. During that period, he was doing something that later got coined as the Twinkie diet. So Haub was mostly eating, for his carbs and fats, processed food. He was eating a lot of Hostess snack cakes. He was eating things like Twinkies, oatmeal cream pies, fudge rounds, ho-hos, ding-dongs, all that stuff. And it was processed, sugary food, right? So the thing that we're all taught to fear and think is going to be the end of the world when it comes to our health. And then on top of that, that accounted for about 2/3 of his calories that he was taking in. So it wasn't literally just that, but he was also having whey protein. And one of the things about whey protein, it's one of the most biologically available sources of protein that you can find out there. So very good for you to be taking in. So he was having his whey, and to get a little bit of fiber in his diet, he was also having broccoli and asparagus mixed in throughout the day. But that's what he was doing. He really cut down the access to food that he had and cut down the calories. So calories out was much higher than calories in. He lost a good amount of weight and his health improved. So a lot of people right now are going to have limited access to food, and a lot of things that you would typically eat in your diet, your healthy diet, you're not going to have access to them. So what you're going to have to do is improvise. But the good news is, even making do, because like the Mark Haub out of Kansas State is one of the most extreme cases that you can refer back to when it comes to managing your health and body composition by purely eating processed food. We always advocate the 80-20 rule, so about 80% of what you eat comes from whole food sources. The other 20% can be whatever else. Haub went about 95-5 or 5-95, whichever way you want to look at it. But what I want to do right now is show you kind of what I have access to. This is my limited prepping when it comes to getting ready for shelter at home. But I'm going to take you into my kitchen. So we're going to flip the camera around and give you a little food tour. So it might be good if I turn some more lights on. There we go. So one of the things that I did was order a lot of whey protein. So each one of these bags is 11 pounds, and that supplements some whey that I already had. But this is going to go a long way for helping me reach my protein goals. So if we go into my pantry, it's not the most well-organized thing on planet Earth, but you'll see we have a lot of things like these Kodiak cakes, high-protein pancakes. If you look at the macros on these, we are working with, come on camera, there we go, 3 fat, 31 carbs, and 14 protein per serving. So this is primarily carbohydrate source that's got some protein in there with it. I also got a lot of pasta, these high calorie things. That's going to be primarily carbs. I went with molasses and brown sugar syrup, so we got lots of carbs in there. Got some bags of rice, so again, carb sources, and a bunch of boxes of cereal. So lots of carb sources in the pantry. Now if we go over to my refrigerator, that's a great quote right there. But anyway, we go to my refrigerator. This is where a little bit more of the fat sources are. So we've got things like eggs. So eggs are going to be a combination of protein and fat. We've got this Greek yogurt, and those are combinations of protein and carbs. We've got straight up butter, which is pure fat. And we've got just a little bit of milk left. I'm running low. And some bags of shredded cheese, which are again fat and protein sources. So we got some Zatarain sausage too. You know, you might be from Louisiana if you eat this stuff. Then we can't forget the freezer. We've got a little frozen pizza. We've got some Omaha steaks. So thank you, Kate, for those. That was actually a Christmas present. And then some chicken breast down there. And can't forget the Bluebell ice cream. But anyway, so what you're not really seeing are the fresh foods that I would typically have because I'm out. And getting into a grocery store, good luck with that. So we're really all going to have to get creative when it comes to finding ways to maintain our health and our body composition during this challenging time. We're going to have to make do with what we've got, do the best with the things that are available to us, but understand that when it comes to managing your health, keeping on top of your nutrition is one of the most important things that you can do. And when you're tracking your macros and you're aware of your carb, fat, and protein intake, that'll make it a lot less likely that you find yourself mindlessly binging and going through all your quarantine snacks. And on top of all the other hardships that we're all going to be facing, you start gaining a lot of weight and putting your health in a more compromised position. So I hope you find this video helpful, and the next time that you go to your grocery store and you don't have many options, start turning around labels and thinking about things in terms of, all right, you know, is this a protein source? Things like canned chicken, canned tuna, canned chili. There's so many different things that you can find that have long shelf lives that you'll still have access to with protein. And you can still order things like whey from My Protein, or you can get it off Amazon. And you can also use Amazon to order different types of foodstuffs as well. But just remember that ultimately the pillar when it comes to your health is your weight and your body composition. Make sure that you're getting your micronutrients in. You can take multivitamins to get that. Again, another thing if you can't find in stores, you can order online. But just really as a bottom line, make sure that you're doing things to try to keep as normal in your routine as you possibly can, because things are different. Pretty much everything that we would normally do has been canceled. And when it comes to your mental health, doing just like being out there, engaging with friends, exercising, going to the gym, these are all things that are super good for your mental health that have really been taken away from us all. So just make sure that the things that you can still do and you can still control, don't give those up. So we're all going to get through this together, and I hope that you found this video helpful and the information and interesting and useful, and we'll keep making more stuff to help you through this time. Thank you guys.